Right then, so this weekend is Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis, the rematch. And yes, in my opinion, I'm going to be going with Sean Strickland to beat Dricus du Plessis this weekend. Most people are going with Dricus to win, but honestly, I've got an argument for why I believe Sean Strickland will actually win this rematch against Dricus. I thought the first fight that they had was very, 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 very close. Could have swung either way, but I thought Strickland nicked it 3-2. But there were some very close rounds in there. But yeah, Strickland was outlanding du Plessis. He outlanded him in 4 out of the 5 rounds. It was close though, with the amount of strikes landed, but Strickland did land more. He outlanded du Plessis in the end in 4 out of the 5 rounds. Du Plessis got in 6 takedowns in the fight, but those takedowns that Dricus got, he was never able to control Sean Strickland on the ground. And I've seen loads of people saying, oh, for Dricus du Plessis to win this, he's going to have to mix in the wrestling more. He's going to have to take Strickland down more. But I feel like people forget, how many times Dricus actually took Sean down in that first fight, but could never actually control Strickland on the ground. Every time du Plessis got Strickland down, Strickland was always up, and it took him, the longest, 30 seconds to actually get up after Dricus took him down. That's the thing. So people saying, oh, Dricus needs to mix in the wrestling more. Dricus mixed in takedowns and wanted to try and control Strickland on the ground in that first fight. But Strickland wouldn't let him do it. Strickland was good in the scrambles on the ground, and he was able to get back up to his feet and was able to outstrike du Plessis. And also, though, past the 3rd round in that first fight, both guys were all, their faces were messed up. There was blood coming out of both their faces, but there was, lots of blood dripping down into Strickland's eye. And Strickland mentioned this in an interview, saying that did affect his vision for the rest of the fight. And if that's all right this time, I feel like Strickland's going to be more precise and more clever with his striking. Because Strickland is a better striker than Dricus, 100%. We saw it in that first fight. Strickland is way better defensively than what du Plessis is. Strickland, he's all about defense first, and I feel like that's going to be a big thing in this fight. And even though, Strickland's saying, oh, it has to be a war on the feet, he knows that, du Plessis is going to want to wrestle him more. I mean, that's why he's wanted to make an agreement to, just stand and bang on the feet. That's not going to happen. Dricus is here to win. He's not here just to put on a wall. He wants to win. But, Strickland, I feel like was all right at defending the takedowns in that first fight. And I feel like he'll be even better this time. Dricus would have probably worked on, trying to get that extra bit more of control time on the ground. But Strickland, he can wrestle. He wrestled at welterweight a bit. Obviously, he doesn't like to take people down, and he likes to be more of a natural striker. But, he can defend himself on the ground. He can, he proved it in the last fight against Dricus. I feel like it's stupid of people saying, oh, Dricus just needs to, wrestle Strickland more, then he'll win. That's not going to be the case at all. Strickland can defend it. He has got good ground defense. And, Strickland, he likes to jab and teep his way to a decision. But I feel like, if he can try and mix in that backhand more in this fight, catch and counter du Plessis when he's coming in with his wild style on the feet. Because Strickland, he is defensively sound. He has got a nice shoulder roll. He is smart with his defense. And he is decent with a good counter jab as well. And his striking, in my opinion, will probably be much sharper than what it was in the first fight. The last 3 rounds, his vision was affected. So that... and I don't see, Lightning striking twice with, them having another head clash like that again and it affecting one of their visions. I mean, Dricus couldn't really see at times as well in that fight because his eyes were pretty busted up as well. So, both guys were kind of just swinging for the heavens in the end quite a bit. But that's Dricus's style anyway, though. Dricus on the feet likes to swing for the heavens, likes to come in and and be unpredictable on the feet. But a good thing about Sean Strickland is that, he is able to read you on the feet. And we saw that, especially in the first 2 rounds of that first fight with Strickland and Dricus. Like we saw how easily Sean Strickland was able to read Israel Adesanya. Look at what he could do to Dricus on the feet. Like we saw it in that first fight as well. It's going to be better this time round. The thing is with Dricus, I feel like he's going to try and make takedowns more unpredictable because, he does like to come and swing it, but then, be unpredictable, shoot an unpredictable takedown that Strickland won't see coming. And you never know, that could really put Sean Strickland off a bit in the fight. But still, though, we have seen Strickland is very difficult to control on the ground. Strickland, he's got better ground defense than someone like Israel Adesanya, like what we saw. He's got better ground defense than what someone like Darren Till has. So that's the thing. And on the feet as well, I can't see Dricus getting Sean Strickland out on the feet because Strickland's better defensively than what, Derek Brunson is. He's better defensively than what Bobby Knuckles is. So, I really do think Strickland can outsmart du Plessis in there defensively and pick his shots nicely offensively. Strickland just needs to make sure his striking is very sharp and he's not going out there swinging. That's what he needs to make sure, strike how he did against Adesanya. And I feel like if Strickland can take the front foot and be able to back up Dricus du Plessis, that puts du Plessis in a pretty bad situation if he's getting backed up. Du Plessis has to be the one coming forward on the front foot in order for his game to work. If Dricus is pushed back on that back foot, his game isn't going to work, and that will be Sean Strickland's fight. So, Strickland needs to put that pressure on from the off. But, that's why, a part of the reason why that first fight was an absolute war, because of both guys, coming forward and liking to put the pressure on. But I do feel like there are ways for Sean Strickland to make sure that he's the one who takes the center of the octagon and backs Dricus up. I feel like that straight jab of Sean Strickland can cause du Plessis more problems this time round, and it will be more consistent throughout the fight this time. So I'm going for a Sean Strickland unanimous decision win. I think I feel like he's going to end up being too good for Dricus on the feet, and he's going to be difficult to control on the ground. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It could go. It wouldn't surprise me if du Plessis wins, but I have got a good feeling for Sean Strickland coming into this fight. Yeah, loads of people are saying how he was crying after the last one, and yes, Strickland at times, let's be real, he was going on a lot about how he got robbed in that, but I feel like now I feel like now he's going to be in that better mentality. He's been in there with Dricus before, and I think Strickland knows what he has to do this time. And he's got a good, smart coaching team around him as well, Strickland. They can come into a fight with a good plan to try and back du Plessis up. But yeah, I feel like, the backhand of Sean Strickland this time round could be important. I feel like if Strickland does mix in his backhand more, then he will be able to hurt Dricus du Plessis. Like, he will be able to. He was able to drop Adesanya when he was throwing that backhand more consistently. And Strickland, when he fought Adesanya, when he was throwing out his backhand, he got a good reaction out of it. And we saw, he was able to bust up Dricus du Plessis in that first fight. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Strickland needs to be sharp with that striking, and I believe it will be more consistent this time round. And I believe that Sean Strickland will win this fight. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll speak to you on the next one.